I think that generally around the world, people have woken up to what these demonstrations are really all about, because there's not Israeli and Palestinian flags. People are not really calling for peace. And I think that from conversations I'm having with my British friends and colleagues, they are really disheartened to see that those protests that have been marketed to the public as demonstrations for peace, and even the media has been covering them this way, are having those incidents week after week with chants that are racist and bigoted and anti-Semitic, that there are arrests every week. I mean, if you would go to a protest a week after week and see that the type of rhetoric and the violence that is erupting in every protest is something that does not represent what they told you it is, why would you go again? And I think that's why we're seeing such a smaller demonstration in the recent weeks than we saw in the beginning. I think that people are growing tired of the misinformation and the lies that they are being sold for in those demonstrations.
Well, talking about misinformation or the way different developments are being perceived, you know the social media space so well. We know right now there are 137 hostages still in captivity in Gaza. We see the images, we're hearing testimony, people coming out talking about being held, in one case, by a teacher from UNRWA. We're hearing about children held in tunnels, the abuse, the assaults, children separated from families as well. What is it in terms of a response on social media? What are you seeing to these horrifying testimonies and details coming out of what happened in captivity?
It's really, it's insane. The responses we're seeing on social media are just nothing short of insanity. It seems like a lot of people have completely lost the plot on this story. We're hearing people saying that the hostages actually had it well. They actually enjoyed their time being abused and violated and held in darkness for weeks. Some people on social media really have bought into the Hamas propaganda that it's actually it's been great time for them. The videos of the release, which for all of us, us seeing this, we know how ridiculous it is to see the hostages being released and forced to smile at gunpoint. But for people around the world, people that don't know better, they actually think that this is what the situation is like. And we're hearing conversations from public officials in America, from elected officials being saying things that are just so bizarre. We heard today that it's actually the ceasefire that led Hamas to releasing the hostages, as if Israel only ceasefire, the Hamas would release the hostages. Why did they kidnap them to begin with then? There was a ceasefire, as we all know, on October 6th, but then they still invaded Israel and kidnapped those kids and kidnapped those families. Hamas is not interested in releasing them. The only way that they would release them is if Israel would, the only reason we got to the release deal and agreement was because Israel intensified the attacks. So, but people on social media, when they see that, they actually believe Hamas's propaganda. We can argue why they're actually believing it, but I think the basic reason is that people are just not educated, and they would buy anything that people sell them in short graphics and messaging, something that, I try to also simplify the information this way, but I think we need to do more of that.